Well, this is Justin again, and this is the early '50s, and I think some of the family may have seen this film, but I thought it'd be worth you putting back on. It's a little you damaged in the transition from your VHS to Super 8 and finally into the machine form. This is LACONIA, New Hampshire. That's my dad. You can see he's probably in his 30s sometime there, I guess. That's Mom at the bottom with Fran and Judy at the lake, which was really nice. It was a nice vacation. That I think it was the only one we ever took. That in fact I remember. In fact, they used to send Artie out to some kind of Jesuit camp, but I usually stayed home. So this was my first vacation that we had taken at when you go away, that kind of stuff. That's me and Artie with our dog. It's probably called Nobby because we named all the dogs Nobby. We didn't know any better, and it was easy to remember. They seem to get killed pretty easily. That's Fran again. That's some of the flotation devices from the Merchant Marine my dad brought us. We were thrilled with them. They were very heavy duty too, so they were hard to break. This is the lake. It wasn't like Winnipesaukee, and this is your Grandma Drone on the right and Grandma Spring. Grandma Spring, there's Mom. She and Grandma Spring, this is a little story I could tell now because everybody's dead. But on her deathbed, when I happened to mention Grandma Spring, she said, "That bitch," because she must have driven my mom crazy. Because she wanted my dad to be a priest. Nothing was too good for art. And that's kind of nice to have, but it's hard on the wife. So that's a little insight into that you won't hear from anybody else here because they don't like to gossip like I do. Anyway, this is us all in the water. We're kind of splashing around, and that's Jimmy there on the left, and the Fran in the middle, Judy, and a little rubber. That's one of the things when you put it around in a circle, you can get inside it. That's the way that the guys use them. And Jimmy in the middle. I guess they were all getting their picture taken. And Jimmy's riding it like a horse. So. That's the dog again, who just wishes he were back in Brooklyn, really, I don't so, I think it's Artie now. He's taking the dog out for another one on the inner tube. The dog again is, God almighty, what the hell's going on? So it was a nice vacation. I remember it. It was those cool mountain evenings, and sunshiny days, and here we're all going to church. Jimmy and Judy stepping down very gingerly. They don't want to fall down because my father's yelling at them, to slow down and wave to the camera, which they're doing. Dog's waving with his tail. My mom's waving with her arms, and then in back of her comes Grandma Spring. She was a battleship, wasn't she? And there's Fran coming down, looking very spiffy. As me, of course, dressed in my Robert Hall. That was the Barney's of its day, but much cheaper. And my bow tie and my crew cut. And doing a little acting. And then I think finally Arthur comes out. He looks like a deacon in the church, doesn't he? He had that kind of way about him. And, of course, your Grandma Spring loved him because he looked just like my dad. This is Uncle Arthur, who was my dad's father's brother. I think that makes sense. I can follow one generation back. And his Uncle Arthur here. And the two guys who walked out before were his brothers, Jerry and something like that, whatever. And these are their wives coming down here. Arthur, who was the captain of the LACONIA Fire Department and quite a operator, was one of the brothers who was brought over here, and I think he was the one who brought the other brothers over. He was funny. He was a great storyteller, and he was a kind of maneuverer. He was like the mayor of LACONIA, basically. He was a big shot, and he was married twice. His second wife is to the left. I guess his first wife died, but I remember the general your talk was that, well, look at Uncle Arthur. He's married twice, as though he shouldn't be. Well, that's just the Irish for you. They don't like anything. And here they're playing the horseshoes. These guys can play horseshoes all day long. They're they love it. And there's Arthur with his second wife, who was considerably younger too. You see, this guy didn't you fall down. He kept going, basically Uncle Arthur. So he's one of the famous Arthur Springs. There's another Arthur Spring came out of that whole deal. I don't know whether he was Arthur's son or somebody else's son, but it was commander of the Pacific Fleet too. So he was a big shot. This is Judy with I think that's Grandma Spring. I'm not too sure. That's Arthur's wife, the young wife. Oh, God help us. And you can see we had a nice breeze that day, and things were cooking. That may not be Grandma Spring. That looks like it's somebody else, one of the other brothers. One was Jerry, I remember, and the other, but they were old New Hampshire characters, Des mom, which is the whole visit we're over, she was just, please go home, This is a seaplane ride. I remember this ride because it scared the living shit out of me because we had seatbelts on. We were little kids, myself and brother Artie, so the guy would bank the plane. And here we're getting out not a minute too soon as far as I was concerned. And we had our airplane pilots, we looked like Lindbergh, didn't we? Look at the two of us. Well, nerds, I guess is the proper word for it, but that was a treat. For some reason, my dad must have run into some money that year to have the vacation home and to have the flights too. But it was a big treat, and I remember they had huge ice cream cones down at the general store, which was down the block. His dad again posing. Again, he gained some weight, as a young guy. He was so skinny that I don't know how to describe it, but he would have fit into a Buchenwald movie very easily. He was just skin and bones. This is the famous tram at LACONIA, New Hampshire. It goes to the top of the White Mountains. Everybody talks about it. We went up and down in the tram, which you'll see pretty soon. And I don't know why I'm showing you all this. I thought I cut it all out because it goes on forever. My dad had no sense of editing. It was just one continuous shot, So if he liked it, you saw it forever. And in fact, I may cut this out, but I probably better not. Oh, here it comes. So this is what I wanted to show. It's the tram actually coming in. It's a thrilling moment. It goes on forever, and then I'm going to switch to a close-up. That's what my dad should have done too. And then we're going to be home. And this is our little yard there. And Judy's on the swing. She loves to swing. She was quite a child. She was really a little what we call a little Cupid doll. And here's the crowd back again, sitting at the picnic bench in LACONIA, New Hampshire. And I guess it's Uncle Arthur. He's telling off-color stories or something. And all the women are laughing except Grandma Spring. She didn't want to listen to that nonsense, So I have a vague memory of this day. It wasn't too bad at all. And I think we're going to see, here's us now, also at the base of LACONIA. And I was wearing glasses at the time. I had crossed eyes and I stammered, so I was quite a package. I could say I was a conflicted child would be a mild description. Here's where we were. It was Mount Lafayette, so just so you know, if you go there again, you can probably spot us, our footprints. They've probably been preserved. And there's the women at the top of the tram. I don't know how they got there. Maybe they were beamed up. And here's some other shots of the women. Your dad took these, so he, of course, favored his mother. And his mom and his mother. And again, Mom, get me out of here, So there she was. And they're just sitting and talking at the top of the mountain. And I don't know what's going on there. I guess we're getting a sandwich or something. And there's Arthur's wife. You're sitting down between them. And there's Judy again. She's so cute, isn't she? And we haven't seen her in years, So seems to be a hidden member of the family for the past 15 years or so. So maybe she should come out of hiding soon. Who knows? And I guess Uncle Arthur telling another joke. He was a killer for the jokes, He didn't let up. Yeah, it was right on top of it. There's Mom. She looks good, doesn't she? So